Let's start by going over my short list of CEO candidates for Apple. I have three names. There could be more, but I have three. I think each one is well qualified. John Ternus, Senior Vice President of Hardware Engineering, Deidre O'Brien, Senior Vice President of Retail and People, and Greg Joswiak, Senior Vice President of Worldwide Marketing. Now, is it possible that there is a dark horse candidate, someone who very few people see? Sure. We can't say that's 0%. We can't say, no way. But I don't think it's likely in this scenario. I don't think you'll have a VP, let's say from operations, that just somehow quietly is positioned, and before we know it, this person is the new contender for Tim Cook's successor. I don't see that happening. I think there is enough talent in Apple's senior vice president ranks for the successor to come from that group. As for making the pitch for each one of these three candidates, we could start with John Ternus. Simply put, he has overseen a hardware team that has been on a roll. They are firing on all cylinders, and it's been this way for a very long time. Now, sure, we would have to credit his predecessors, Bob Mansfield, Dan Riccio. But I think in some ways, the success from those executives, it made it possible for John Ternus to continue sort of in their legacy. I think that's fair to say, where you have a hardware team that just does collaboration really well with hardware technologies, operations, design, among other teams. We have O'Brien. She has a resume experience at Apple that I think is a big plus. It would instantly put her in the running for CEO. She has that operations experience that I think is crucial. I've always thought having deep operations is something that benefits an Apple executive greatly. Greg Joswiak, he knows Apple inside and out. If there is one person who I think is capable of, if he had to jump into Tim Cook's role overnight, I think he's the one executive that can do it, that can take Tim Cook's entire portfolio of tasks, and he probably can do it. Greg Joswiak. So each one of those candidates, I think they have an argument here for why they should be CEO or why it would make sense for Apple to pick them as CEO. I think it's important to note we don't know their personal situations. And so we're assuming that they're in a position to continue serving. Maybe in some of these cases, that's not true. And that would obviously change who would be in the running or who is the front runner.